took that right away. I decided to go to Bradley after just 1 year of ICC. And then
by the way, Jimmy, that's how it's supposed to be done. Okay, come on, man.
Yeah.
Word is they don't see what it take to make it, but the word on the streets I make it look easy. I'm flattering, cool, way too easy. Word on the street is I make it look easy. I'm actually smooth, it's far too easy. Word on the streets I make it look easy.
All right, welcome back, Season 2 of the Diggle's Diamonds podcast. I am once again joined by my partner in crime, brother from another mother, friend of years, friend of tears, David Bentley. Take a bow, sir.
It's almost as anticipated as Game of Thrones Season 2. It's just slightly under.
I don't know about that. That was a lot of buildup.
That was huge.
Yeah. We have 5 ball players joining us tonight. We'll start with the D1 guys that are at the D1 level right now. Joining us live from South Texas, both are at Lamar University, are Mortonite Bo Durbin and Bartonvillian Travis Lutz. Take a bow, boys.
Hey, how's it going?
That's Bo on the left there. Travis trying to channel home in the hoodie there, even though it's 62 down there right now. Who's counting? Bo was an All-Missouri Valley Conference infielder at Bradley and all-region infielder at Illinois Central College, and then jumped in the transfer portal this summer and ended up at Lamar. Travis was his teammate. These two have been teammates since what? You were like 15, 16?
Yeah, roughly. Both
something like that. So coming up on
Outlaws program.
Yeah, just shy of a decade. Travis also played at ICC in Bradley, led the Braves in strikeouts last spring, and he also jumped in the portal. And together they are part of a top 25 top 25 portal recruiting class at Lamar. So big things going on down there. They knocked off Texas to open their fall season, which was huge, and good things are brewing down there in the Southland Conference. Also joining us today, Cole Norrell, right-handed pitcher from John A. Logan. Cole, take a bow.
All right.
There's Cole. Cole straight out of Delavan, Illinois, originally. Posted a 2-2 record last year, 4.64 ERA, 40 Ks in 33 innings, and is fresh off a commitment to Wichita State. So congrats on that, Cole.
Thank you.
Man, I don't know what this cough is.
I do. It's 25 degrees out.
Well, and it's supposed to be 70 by Saturday. I'm going to go to a playoff game in shorts. Next up, we have Jimmy Anderson, a shortstop from Heartland Community College. Jimmy was an All-American last spring, hit .439, 18 doubles, 1 triple, 10 homers, and 63 RBIs for the Hawks. Jimmy, take a bow.
What's up, guys?
And there he is. Jimmy recently committed to Kentucky. Well, not recently, but this fall committed to Kentucky. So he will be taking his talents to the SEC. And then last but not least, we are joined by Clayton Matkovic, an all-Midwest Conference outfielder from Monmouth College and straight out of Sherrard, Illinois. Clayton, take a bow.
How's it going?
Dude, I got to tell you, your name has been bothering me all day. I know that name. And I wasn't able to find it anywhere. I was like, I've covered his games, whatever. No, it turns out you share a name with an ESPN announcer. I was just like, I watch way too much sports if I can remember the names.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Clay Matvick. Or if it's not exact, it's really darn close. Like you might have the O and he doesn't or something, but it's really close. But anyway, folks, what we are going to be doing tonight is sharing some information. I go through every year and I try to teach kids about what they are chasing by putting together all the metrics out of PBR's senior class and then translating that into averages. And hey, this, if you even want to sniff that level, this is like the minimum of what you've got to be at. And of course there are outliers. Don't get me wrong. But outliers are outliers for a reason. It's because like there's one or two of them, not because everybody who throws, somebody turns on an SEC game and sees a left-hander sitting 83, and it's because the ball moves 26 inches. And they're like, well, I throw 83 from the left side. And they're like, oh, I could play in the SEC. It's like, no, you've got to have a little bit more stuff. So hopefully you folks take some good away from this. And see what we come up with. But before we dive in, we have a little celebration here today. Want to share a video with you guys. Let me share my screen here. Come on. There we go. All right. So we got to watch some 10U basketball. This is the Yorkville Foxes versus the Geneva Vikings. You're going to see a scrappy young man jump in here and scoop up a loose ball and then hit his team's only three-pointer of the season. Let's take a listen.
First attempted three. There he is, the southpaw.
The southpaw is none other than Gavin Bentley.
In his eyeball, and then he threw up the three fingers.
The step back J for the three, throws up the triple
How
fingers.
About it?
It's a bright future for that young man. Also a deadly southpaw on the mound and pretty good outfielder and first baseman. So there you go, coaches, multi-sport athlete.
What you can't hear is our head coach screaming, no, 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 when he starts to pull up and fade away.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Thank you, Diggs.
That's absolutely.
Touching tribute there.
Absolutely. Great job, Gavmo. Keep it up, buddy. All right. So there we go. All right. Let's dive into this. So what I've done, I've also calculated how many kids are still uncommitted in the PBR top 275. Right now, there are a total of 38, 45, 52, 60, 76 players are still uncommitted in that top 275. So a lot of players already committed, but still some good ones out there. If there's college coaches listening, hopefully not, because I plan on scooping up a lot of those kids. But we'll see what happens. All right. Let me see here. Where are my right-handed pitchers? So I want to start here with the right-handed pitchers. I can't make that. There we go. No, get out of here. There we go. So there you see. That is, dang it, that's still bugging me. There we go. That's better. How do I make Bentley disappear?
I'd turn off my computer.
I thought I could minimize that somehow. Oh, well. Anyway, there you see the numbers across the board there. Obviously, the fastball velocity is what gets you in the door. Power 4 guys averaging 89.6. That's the floor, up to 92.1. D1 guys, 86.9 to 90.4. D2, 86 to 88. D3, 84, 85. JUCO, 84 to 87. And the uncommitted kids hanging out there at 85, 88. Let's talk to our pitchers here, Mr. Norrell and Mr. Lutz. What do you guys make of that? Those seem pretty accurate to you?
Yeah, I would say they are. But like those junior college numbers could even be skewed because like if you're coming into John A and you want to make impact innings, and then if you're just like kind of a base stock already like I am, 84, 87 is not going to cut it. I mean, like you're not going to get very many innings just with that velo, unless you have some funk to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like those, just as an overall generalization, I feel like those are some pretty hitting the nail on the head.
Yeah, and the one thing, we run out of data or run out of room there, kind of, because and you guys know it, and obviously Jimmy and Bo and Travis know it too. Like, there's different levels of JUCO ball just here in Illinois alone. Like, you got the D1 schools down in the GRAC. Your John A. Logan's, Wabash Valley, Southwestern Illinois, Lakeland. Then you come up to Region 24, or not Region 24, but the MWAC with Heartland, Parkland, Lincolnland, ICC. And then you go up north to where most of the D3 schools are. Most of the GRAC schools are D1. They can pay for everything. The D2 schools can only pay, tuition and books. And then the D3 schools can't pay for anything at all. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. They're a little skewed just based on, like, what you're going to see at, like, a Logan or a Wabash, a Heartland, a Parkland, all those schools versus what you might see up north. So, really no way to break that out. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. They a little skewed. And, some of those bigger schools, you're definitely going to have to bring it. For Lutzy, you're a big spin rate guy with the breaker. What do you normally see, like, when you're charting and stuff out of breaking balls at the JUCO level and then at Bradley last year?
Yeah. Typically when it comes to spin rate, it's like at least at Bradley and specifically more here, just because we get to utilize TrackMan a little bit more. Everyone's spin rate is between like a 2,600 to a 2,800. On
the breaking stuff.
On the breaking stuff, mostly your sliders and your curveballs, obviously. But the ones that are thrown pretty hard, like the firm gyro sliders, are usually pretty spun well. At least what our coach does is he has everyone throw a hard one and a soft one. Usually the hard ones. Usually the hard one is the one that it has the most spin. And that's usually pretty high, but I would say at JUCO, obviously it comes with, some things are taught, some things not so much, and spin's kind of one of those, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like sometimes either you have it or you don't. But I feel like you can kind of get some based off maybe some grip strength and like just forearm work, stuff like that.
Okay. Nice. All right.
Clayton, what do you think about those numbers from righties in D3? Is that what you're seeing Friday, Saturday on the weekend games?
Well, keep in mind, these are only freshmen, so I'm betting what
True.
he sees on Friday, Saturday is a little bit firmer.
Yeah.
Out of the juniors and seniors. What you got, Clayton?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of mixed because you get some guys that throw harder to start the game, and then you got some funky guys out of the pen, just like different looks. But we also do play in the cold here, so I bet the numbers are a little lower when it's colder.
Yeah.
And you guys have a shortened season too, so sometimes you're trying to cram 40 games into a 2-month window there, so you can get a little dead arm as well. All
you
right.
guys still starting in Florida, Clayton, in your spring trip?
Yeah, we'll go down to Florida in March, sometime around the 10th.
Nice.
Do you see your velo drop a little bit when you come back up north and it's cold after that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a given. I mean, shoot, I'm sure all the JUCO boys here can vouch for it. You throw up here and then you go down south and you step off the bus and it's like your whole body just unclenches. You're just like, oh, hey, this is nice. Loosey goosey when it's 72 out. So, yeah, absolutely. All right, let's take a look at some left-handers here. So, obviously, left-handers tend to be a little bit lower on the velo scale. That's not to say that there's not hard throwers out there. See some guy named Jack Bauer, who's still ripping fastballs at 100 and still in the college ranks for some ungodly reason at Mississippi State. Again, the average incoming freshman there from the left side, 85.6 to 89.1. Drops a little D1. D2 and JUCO numbers pretty similar. No D3 lefties in this Illinois class so far. I did that a couple times. It's shocking how many of the D3s. I really thought they'd pick up more there with the new rules in play. But so so far anyway. I mean, they've picked up in some areas, but it seems like the bigger schools are still scooping up all the arms. So we'll be posting these, by the way, on the Diggles Diamonds account, folks. So if you missed something here, you'll still have the opportunity to go see them. Go check us out on Twitter at Diggles Diamonds, all one word. Capitalize the D's, the first D's, Diggles and Diamonds. And you'll be able to see more there and really dive into these.
Hey Clayton, let me cut you off just real quick,
Yeah.
man. What's Tanner Rogers at right now? Are you guys clocking him? He's a freshman, right?
Yeah, left-handed freshman from United.
Is he about 87?
Yeah, I think he hit 90 the other day. That was the last I
10?
heard.
That
Yeah,
is
Great to hear.
That does not surprise me in the least. That young man, I don't want to share too much because it's a medical thing, but that kid was 86, 87, and that was inside in February at the Slugger Dome at a PBR showcase, and he didn't get hurt, but he got sick. And it was like he never shook it. And so by the time I saw him again in June, it was dropped down to like 78, 79. And I was like, we can't put that video out there. And it turned out he'd been fighting this long-term viral illness. And thankfully they finally got it figured out. And that was just a matter of time before he came back with 90. So thrilled to see Tanner doing it and doing it well. He's going to be a real horse for the Scots, I think. So, all right. Well, let's move on here. Let's jump into some hitters. Let's do catchers first, since we just did the pitchers. Unfortunately, we don't have any catchers on here. I realized I probably should have called Cannon Klein, who's a former ICC catcher and then played at VCU and is now at University of West Georgia. But at any rate, you see there, the biggest thing obviously is the pop times. And it's kind of interesting how they track. Like most of the Power 4 kids and the rest of the D1 kids are the same. And then see a little rise at D2, another rise at D3. JUCO, little off of D1, but still the lowest, and then 209. For our middle infielders, Jimmy and Bo, what does a good catcher do for you guys in terms of shutting down that running game?
Obviously, I think the pop time, but then just the ability to kind of block and keep the game under control is something that I kind of thought that at least good catchers do well. That helps us win a lot of games.
Talk a little bit. Your catcher, Jake Parpet, just committed. I think that's how you say his last name. Just committed to Central Michigan. Talk about the year that Jake had there and what he was able to do for you guys.
Yes, sir. So that's actually my roommate. He's in the other room right now.
Oh, there you go.
You can hear him at times, but no, he had a really good year. He was dealing with some knee problems, obviously from catching, but he's a shorter kid. I think he's like 5'8", or he'll say 5'9", but he
Don't
swings it
steal that
pretty
inch,
well, I'd
Jimmy.
say. He might kill me for that, but no, he has a lot of sneaky power in him, and definitely he's a great catcher and something that I really look for in a player. So.
All right, Bo. What about you? What have you noticed about catchers as if you kind of moved around the levels here?
Yeah, I think something our catchers do really well here at Lamar is communicate. They're always talking, always stepping out, making sure the whole infield knows what they're doing. And then in terms of like what they do well, I think whenever they throw the ball, they're either hitting you in the chest or giving you a nice long hop. They're not missing to the left, missing to the right, or short hopping you. They throw the ball with good spin. It's not sinking, not tailing, not cutting.
Yep.
So and they're very repetitive in that, and they make that a habit every day. Like with their catch play, everything they do, it's with a purpose. And I think as you move up in levels, there's more of that professional nature to a lot of the catchers.
Okay. I always I imagine you probably still hear this in your sleep, but I'll good old Bear Kelly, 3 feet high over the bag.
Yeah, no doubt. Yep, yep.
Oh man. Yeah, so some of the other things you see there, the arm strength, got to be around 80, on average for the D1 level. A lot of those guys will be even higher. Um, the high end guys going to the SEC, you'll see dudes, ripping it out of the crouch at 86. Um, the Heineman kid that's going to University of Illinois Chicago is a senior over at Normal Community. He's 84 out of the crouch. So the more that is, and as Bo said, it's a repetition thing. You're able to do that every single throw. It's not just, hey, I got lucky and got one off. No, that's my throw every time. So great points there by Bo and Jimmy both. Absolutely. All right, let's move on to let's go to the first baseman next. Where are we at? There they are. First baseman, not a lot here. In terms of total guys, I think there were only like 15 total first basemen. You guys can all kind of talk to this. Whoever wants to take this, feel free. How many guys do you know that come in as freshmen and were like a shortstop in high school or a center fielder or a catcher, like somebody up the middle of the diamond? How many of those kids do you think are in each freshman class? Anybody?
Will you ask that? Ask that again.
So the old I always think of like the old Bradley coach Dewey Calmer, who was like, I recruit 6 shortstops every year.
Yeah.
The best one sticks at short, the second best one goes to center, third best one goes behind the plate, fourth best one goes to second, fifth one goes to third base, and the sixth best one goes to first base. Seems like I'm just wondering how many guys like that you remember coming in as freshmen, like I was a shortstop.
Yeah. I mean, our first baseman at Bradley was a shortstop. Pretty much our entire infield was a shortstop, in high school or growing up, whatever.
Yeah.
Same thing here at Lamar. Our entire infield, besides our first baseman, were shortstops. So I think, shortstops are very versatile. You can move a shortstop
They're
to third
athletes.
base. You can move a shortstop to second base. Yeah, I mean, I think shortstops are, can play anywhere in the infield. So I think
And
that's
usually in the outfield too, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you see that a lot. I think like I said, most of our infielders here, shortstops, Bradley, same thing, shortstops. So
yeah. Jimmy, what about the Hawks? Just kind of, I know you got you and oh goodness, what's the JT was it Jakubowski, Jimmy?
Oh yeah, TJ.
TJ,
Yeah.
that's it, TJ. And then you got Tyler Pippen, Cole Yates. I'm trying to think who the other second baseman was. But anyway,
There's
like all
Charlie Linderman's another one.
Charlie, yeah. But all those kids are shortstops too. Like, how did they approach those guys? Like, once it's like, hey, Jimmy Anderson's our shortstop, like what then becomes the move for those guys? Like, how do they approach that? Like, hey, if you want to play, this is where your best opportunity is.
Yeah, I would say it's partially that, and then partially of like, this is our best chance to win games. And if, you want to win games, this is where you're gonna have to play. And that's kind of like what they embraced. And, I think that's something that a lot of people have to overcome. Obviously, it's not easy being like, I'm not as good as this guy, but if someone's like, this is our only way to win, just kind of embracing your role. So, and same thing with our center fielder. He was a shortstop, I think, all 4 years of high school.
Is
And then
that
when he
Bennett?
got here, they kind of found out, yeah, Bennett Summers.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Central Catholic, I
Yep.
believe. Then yeah, they moved him to center field last year, and it's kind of been paying off for him. So
Yeah, and Bennett's another example of an athlete. He was a shortstop. He caught, played center field. Like that's just again, that's the move. Like you're an athlete. We're gonna try to put you in a position where your athleticism works for you. Absolutely. You're 100% right. Okay. Let's move on to third baseman here. Let's see. Gotta go back. All right. Third baseman. This is where you start to see a little bit of juice come in. You start to see the bat speed there. This is a little tip from Trey Hannum, one of the best hitting coaches in the country. If you ever wonder if your swing metrics are good, you want to take that bat speed number and divide it by your hand speed number. And if that is 3 or better, if the result is 3 or better, you're doing fine. It's when you're below 3, that usually means there's some lag in your bat or something isn't translating in the swing there. So if you're not familiar with Trey, highly recommend you check him out on Twitter. I believe it's at TJ Hannum 10. Hands down, one of the best hitting guys I know, and a former ICC Cougar. So proud to count him as an alum. So, but you see the bat speed there, the exit velos, all really, really up there. You know, third base is the corners are one of those power premiums. And then you see the arm strength there in the back on at the bottom row there. You know, for those of you that have played at the JUCO level, what do you see at that level? Like, as far as, I guess, not even at the JUCO level, but just as you move up the ladder, how has that changed? Like, does that, you know, all of a sudden what would have been a banger maybe at the JUCO level now becomes a, you know, hey, you're out by 3 steps because the guy juiced it across the diamond at 92? Is that what we're thinking here?
Yeah, from what I've seen, kind of like what you were just saying. Like I feel like third basemen are just so more agile now, and like you said, they were probably shortstops in high school and stuff. So they have good arms and they're agile at third base. So I just feel like it's a very high end position.
Yeah, absolutely. It's usually the kid that's a little bit more muscular, you know, maybe stocky, doesn't have quite the foot speed. You know, you see we'll talk about the middle infielders here in a second, but you know, it's usually just a little bit maybe a step off, you know, the starting shortstop or whatever, but they're athletes, there's no doubt. But that's a good point, Cole, and that's obviously a pitcher's best friend when you can, you know, rely on something not getting by him, or, you know, cutting down a slow roller or something like that and making the play. Absolutely. So, all right, let's move on here. Middle infielders, where are we at? There we go. This one really interesting. Oh, get back there. There we go. The biggest thing here, I think, guys, is the speed. This is a premium position. Jimmy and Bo, you're our shortstop representatives. Bo, I think you were like a 6'6", 6'7" guy. Am I right?
Yeah.
Jimmy, what do you run, if you don't mind sharing?
I think it was a 6'7". I haven't ran a 60 in a while, but we
Yeah.
did one last year. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you're right there, and that's pretty common. Honestly, you know, I think one of the things that people don't talk about, Dave, is you know, we've seen the velocities from the pitchers go up. Obviously, velocity. You know, shoot, I was telling somebody the other day. You know, we saw the pitching velocity for JUCO was 84 to 87. When I started out in baseball 20 years ago, that was D1 type stuff.
Yep.
But now, you know, while we're seeing all these incredible things with hitting and pitching, the speed's also going down too. Like, dudes are running, like, it was probably, I don't know, 8 or 10 years ago, there was a kid that ran 5.99 at a PG event. Was going to North Carolina State.
They're doing agility stuff early, Diggs, and you guys all know. I have a 10-year-old, and he last year played for Athletes HQ, which is in the west suburbs of Chicago, and they absolutely are working on speed, agility, what Dewey Calmer used to call the fast twitch muscle fiber, anything and everything to gain speed. And, I remember growing up, mostly watching football, and they'd say, well, you can't teach speed. Well, actually, they can now. So,
Yeah.
and as you pointed out, up the middle, center field, shortstop, second base, you better have it. Clayton, do you usually play right field or do you move around in the corners?
Bounced around.
That's what I
Left,
thought.
left,
Yep.
center, right.
Yeah, I mean, even the corners nowadays, you got to be quick. So, and Clayton, if I remember, 2024, did you have 7 triples?
I did.
Yeah, so there you go.
And
You gotta
Clay, what do
have-
you run in the 60, just out of curiosity?
I think it was like a 6'9" or 7, somewhere
Okay.
around there.
I got you. All right. The only other thing I want to point out with the shortstops there, in addition to the speed, is the arm strength. So shockingly, the D1 kids, the mid-major, whatever you want to call it, the non-power 4 D1 kids had a little bit more arm strength on average. But that's that could be a 1-year, one-off kind of deal, especially as if those kids are going to play, they're going to be second baseman in college or something like that. They were recruited for their speed or their bat or what have you. So can't really put too much in that, but again, just a nice number there. And you see the uncommitted kids, like I would venture a guess that's probably why a lot of them are uncommitted, because they are shortstops. They might have, some tools there that match up with the D1 or Power 4 kids, but the arm strength is what gets them. You got to work on that a little bit. That's why, I tell people all the time, sending Trent Keeler from Lincoln High School to Kay's Academy to Josh Cowton was so important. I mean, this kid goes from 86 across the diamond and 93 across the diamond. It makes a world of difference. And again, it's about, instead of having a bang bang play at first, now it's, hey, you're out by 3 steps and it's an easy call for the umpire. So definitely something to work on there. All right, last but certainly not least, for Mr. Makovic, are the outfielders. Where did I put? There they are. Obviously the speed stands out here. If you look at the Power 4 guys, I think there were only 4 or 5 outfielders going to Power 4 schools. But they were setting it pretty quick. But just to give you an example there, so the average Power 4 time, 6.46, and yet there was just a kid tonight who committed to Triton College up in the suburbs, Logan Fernandez out of Mount Carmel. It's a 6.41 runner going to a JUCO.
that'd take that number down on average, probably a little bit.
It's funny. I ran, I think it was in the middle infielders. I ran the JUCO numbers, and it said the average 60 was 5.99, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, no, something's wrong. And it turned out I had missed the decimal point or put the decimal point before the 6, and so somebody was running a 0.673 60, so that drug the average down a little bit. But we got that fixed. So Clay, if you would talk a little bit about what you've seen in the outfielders playing, high school ball, summer ball, and at the college level. What do you think helps kids stand out the most as an outfielder?
I'd probably say first step and being able to track the ball off the bat. Like with,
Okay.
If it's getting hooked down the line, or if it's got backspin, topspin, just mainly like first step and being able to read it off the bat.
Very cool. All right.
Yeah.
And just FYI, folks, that's a great answer by Clay, because that's intangibles. That is something that can't be measured. Now, is that an equalizer? Most coaches would probably say no. They would say, hey, that's great, but your top end speed just isn't enough for what we're looking for, or we don't think the bat is going to play, whatever it might be. But it's definitely one of those things they pay attention to. Absolutely, you're right. That's a great point, Clay. There you go. That's kind of, I know we went through that a little fast, but wanted to get wanted to put that information out there, and then wanted to take some time and talk to these boys about their route through the game, and let them share a little bit um, about their experiences, and kind of go from there. Uh, and then once we if you guys want to duck off once we're done, that's fine. If you want to hang out till the end, and chime in where you want to, that's fine too. It's whatever you guys want to do. No problems with us. Let me go ahead and unshare my screen here. Where is?
I had forgotten, Diggle, that Chris Farley had such a prominent role in Wayne's World 2 until you tweeted that picture of him. And it's also probably been 25 years since I've seen that. Is that worth another look, Wayne's
Oh
World
yeah,
2? Okay.
absolutely.
Because I remember there's a narrator who's trying to be Jim Morrison, and he's not funny and he's weird. And I feel like I kind of turned away, and maybe I should give it another shot.
No, the British guy is totally worth it. The guy that the roadie, I think he was Ozzy's roadie or something, was
And
Dell.
isn't Christopher Walken in it, like possibly
Yes.
as the
He's the villain.
antagonist? Yeah,
He's trying to steal Tia Carrere.
of course he is.
Highly recommend a second look at that though.
I'll take a look. All right. Well, let's start here. I have to ask Jimmy Anderson about a story. And well, I think I have to tell Jimmy Anderson a story. Not ask him about it because he wouldn't know. Jimmy, I want you to know something. I've known Chris Razzo a long time. I've known his family even longer. His uncle was the one who ended my baseball career by cutting me. Shout out to Uncle Matt. But when you signed, I just happened to be over in Bloomington at K's that day, and Razzo walked in. I think he was dropping something off of Guinea. But I said, "Hey, so you got a shortstop?" And he goes, "He's the best player I've ever recruited." And I said, hold on. I said, now look, I don't have any doubt the kid's talented, but I also just watched Ben Hartle and Sam Antonacci tear this league a new, you know what, and I have a hard time believing he's better than them. And yet you proved me wrong. And then, and I hope this isn't an overshare. If it is, I apologize, but I'm just going to say it. Then he tells me that you walked on. Is that true?
Yeah, I was a walk-on.
Oh my God. That's insane. That's insane. Oh, unreal. Talk a little bit about that process. Like, what did what made you decide to do that? To say, hey, look, because I'm sure you had other offers, but what stood out about Heartland and made you comfortable walking on?
Yeah, so I think what kind of made me most comfortable was that Raz, obviously, you know him as a person, like he's real as it gets. He didn't, put on like a fake face when I was on the visit. And, even with McGinnis too, everything just kind of felt real. And it was like, this is the place where I think I can get better at. And it definitely paid off. Like I said, I think even Raz has the same personality that he had ever since I came out of high school. So something that I'm grateful for from him. Yeah, he's weird at times, but it's all right.
I was shocked because like the more I've talked to some of you Heartland guys, they're all like, "Oh yeah, nobody talks to Raz. We all think he hates us." But it's just like, I trust me, he doesn't. But like everybody just gives him this big like buffer. I guess it's very very strange. But I long ago learned to stop doubting that guy. So I'll
Hey, Jimmy, most of us know you got drafted, and you're staying at Heartland, and then you're going to Kentucky after this upcoming season. Talk about your choice to stay at Heartland, because I'm sure you had options. Did Razzo have to convince you? Was it an easy decision for you to stay? Can you just sort of talk us through, as much as you're willing to divulge, about your thought process after being drafted, about the different roads you could take in baseball and why you chose this road.
Yeah, so it definitely wasn't easy. It was probably the hardest like 2, 3 months of my life, honestly. But no, Razzle didn't have really much say. He just kind of gave me my options and told me to pick which one I'm feeling the most. And it was a lot of talks with my parents, and then one of Sam Antonacci's agents. I was talking to him. I was pretty close with him, and fortunately, it just came down to either the draft or come back to here because personally, all the schools that were kind of recruiting me were kind of like speeding up the process a little bit too quickly for my liking. It was kind of like school starts in, 3 weeks and we need you down here now. And, you have a couple days to make this choice. And I didn't personally feel comfortable making that yet. And my parents kind of understood that. And then, turning down the draft, obviously it kind of sucked because it's been a lifelong dream of mine to get drafted. And after that happened, my guy kind of said, it's not so much about the money, or it is about the money, and it's about setting yourself up for success in the long run. And me coming back here, I believe that, I can try and go higher in this coming draft now. So,
Yeah, hey, I mean, what do I know? But I just thought your decision was outstanding. Um, I really did. I think it made
Speak for yourself. Some of us have to pitch to him.
I was gonna say Diggle's not thrilled about it, but
I've tried to get rid of him early. I've tried to get rid of Hartle early, Antonacci, all of them. No, they all come back.
yeah,
Oh
no, I
man,
know a lot of people thought I was crazy, especially after I did it. It was kind of a mixed emotions from like a lot of coaches and stuff, but in my heart, I truly believe that it was the right choice. So,
very
well, look at
nice.
guys like Jack Bauer. He's a first rounder and now he's playing college ball. I think you're gonna see more of it. And I'll do a prediction of Peoria's golden son, Mr. Jim Tomey. I think his kid's going to go down to Tennessee and play. Uh, we'll see what happens, but Jimmy, I don't think your decision was I guess a surprise because I think it was a smart one. And that's just my opinion, but best of luck to you and thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
thank you, of course.
Um, Jimmy, I kind of want to tie you and Cole in together because obviously you're both going to programs with an outstanding tradition, and please don't feel like you have to share any more. Uh, I don't want you to share any private information or anything like that, but just going to schools like Kentucky and Wichita State, what was the conversation about NIL like? Did you have to do anything extra? Did your advisors handle that? What was how did they approach that?
So it's kind of funny how I came in contact with Wichita State. I was close to making a decision to Memphis, and I was just sending Twitter DMs out, and the Wichita State guy responded back, and he was like, "Yeah, yeah, I have interest. We have interest in you." And I was like, "All right, where do you guys kind of stand? Because like I'm close to making a decision." And at that point, I told him the two schools that I were looking to commit to were Tulane and Memphis, which are both in their conference. So I feel like that kind of helped the offer itself. Like they knew they were going to have to compete with two schools that are good programs.
Yeah, absolutely. Jimmy,
Yeah,
what about you? How'd that go for you?
so I'd say most of the schools that I didn't visit, my advisor kind of handled it all, especially because obviously we're in the mix of the fall season and games.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like I didn't really want to be like thinking about that and then trying to worry about performing. So, but no, it was kind of once I got on the campus for the visit and stuff, they kind of sat me down and ran through everything. And, obviously I know some schools you have to do extra stuff on the side, but everything that I got straight up. So.
nice, very nice. Um, Now did they like? Does that just for the people at home? I mean, I know how this works, but like, is that like signing a different contract, or does that just fall under the NIL and you guys are you just, hey, this is the money we've promised you, and this is what you're gonna get.
Yeah, so it definitely is the money that like, we promise you and you'll get. And then obviously I think coming around the draft, they kind of mentioned about, they'll have to try and like re-recruit, obviously, if everything goes well. just kind of, obviously the NIL might vary the choice with the draft and going to school eventually. So yeah, we'll see.
Okay, very
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, that was kind of the same with Wichita State. They were like, "Yeah, this is what we're giving you, but if you ball out this spring, we'll probably have to adjust that because, I mean, the draft's gonna be giving them pressure too."
Okay, good to know. Good to know. All right, next up, I want to talk transfer portal with my two guys down south. Bo, Travis, talk a little bit about your experience in the transfer portal.
Yeah, for me, it was a pretty fun experience because out of high school, I didn't really have many offers, and I
You
never
did
really
not,
had
which
that.
was criminal.
Yeah, I never really had that recruiting experience. Out of high school, I just decided, to go to ICC, which was a great opportunity for me, and it panned out well. But out of ICC, I just had, one Division I offer as well after 1 year, and my goal was to always play Division I baseball, so I took that right away. I decided to go to Bradley after just 1 year of ICC, and then
By the way, Jimmy,
yeah,
that's how it's supposed to be done. Okay, come on, man.
yeah. No, I think you're doing just fine, man. But um, and then yeah, the portal was very interesting. You just kind of hop in it, and then you're just kind of, you get reached out to by all these schools, and you
Are they
got
doing
people.
it via
You got
text? Is it Twitter DMs? What are they doing?
all of it, all of it. You got to check your email too, so don't forget about that. I had a couple schools reach out to me via email, and I didn't really check that very often. So yeah, make sure you check everything for sure. But no, it was a very fun experience. I ended up cutting my list down to a couple schools. I wanted to make the decision quickly, just to ease the mind and help that process be a little bit more smoother for me and my family. But yeah, I ended up deciding to come down south. And yeah, the weather's awesome, team's awesome. So yeah, it was a fun experience. It was cool.
Travis, what about you?
Kind of weird. Same story, literally. Never, didn't have many offers out of high school, so I went to ICC as well, and that is,
And
panned
just
out.
for people's information, for Bo and Travis both, they were smack dab in the middle of COVID. You were both what, class of 2021?
I was 21.
22.
Yeah.
22, that's right. So we were,
Yeah.
you guys were playing summer of 2020 when there was nothing going on, and 21 when we were just starting to get back. So it was hard for you guys for sure. But Travis, go ahead and finish your thought there, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. There were some challenges with that whole COVID thing. So mostly out of high school, I was talking to like JUCOs, some D3s, because those were the only two I believe that were able to reach out. I don't think Division I, Division II were able to reach out at that time.
They couldn't come out on the road, but they could have recruited, but they were all
Yeah,
willing to get
yeah,
out on
yeah.
the road.
And obviously, I didn't have all the PBR kind of numbers for that. I had a pretty good exit velo. Didn't really throw the ball hard, but I spun it well. So I was kind of caught in the middle there. So I went to ICC and I two-wayed, and that ended up being one of the best decisions I'll ever make in my life, because that's also, it set me up for success going forward. Because obviously I went to Bradley for the next 3 years, and we played them in the fall, and that's how I got recruited. And Bear gave me an opportunity to hit and pitch there, and then I was able to get my 5th year from that JUCO rule with the Pavia QB at Vandy. So that is another reason why it's one of the best decisions I ever made was to go to ICC. Another reason just gave me that extra year. So I did 3 years at Bradley. I hit for 2 of them and pitched for all 3. And then I jumped in the portal, and it was kind of the same deal. I jumped in pretty quick after we lost because of the situation that was going on. And within 2 hours, I had a phone call with the first school. And it moved really fast. It was pretty stressful, but it was pretty fun just because same situation as Bo. Like, I didn't really have that recruiting experience. So it was pretty nice to see what I kind of earned respect wise, out there nationally. And went on a few visits. I went to Northern Illinois, UIC. I went to Lamar with Bo, and then I had some that were in the process of being set up with like Iowa and Illinois, some of the bigger schools like Tulane and all them. But some just kind of felt right about Lamar, and I ended up pulling the trigger just because I felt like I could really develop in my 1 year here with Coach McGrath, and put myself in a good position to potentially play pro ball, which is the ultimate goal.
Were you guys hoping to play together, having played together since travel ball? That had to have been a factor, right?
I mean, it's kind of funny because it seems like I've been kind of following Lutz everywhere he's gone. But no, yeah, we came on a visit here together because the coach reached out to both of us at the same time, and
Smart man.
I don't know, I liked it a lot, and Lutz had a couple more visits set up, and I was like, man, I think I'm just gonna come here. Like I love it here. The coaches were amazing. Really competitive program, 40 wins the last 2 years. And it just felt right. And then whenever I figured out like Lutz was thinking about coming here too, I was like, this is gonna be sweet, and it just makes the whole process of moving somewhere new, it makes it a lot easier. To have a buddy that with you through that process. So yeah, it worked out great. But no, it is kind of funny because we literally have the exact same path pretty much. So
it happens a lot. And Diggle, you can speak to this, the guys that you've advised in the past, friends, whether they're high school teammates, travel ball, could go to totally different schools, but maybe they played like in the McDonald's All-Star game together and just hit it off. Next thing you know, they're taking a visit together to the same school, and next thing you know, they're going together. And I think it's cool.
Well, think about all those dudes that we went to school with that, all of a sudden there's a freaking migration south to Lakeland from the class of
Yeah.
96. Alexander's down there, and
Yeah, Rusty Gibson from Limestone.
yeah.
Yeah. For me, going to Monmouth, didn't know anybody, took my trip by myself, loved Coach Roger Sander. And then in the orientation, I look over and see a guy from Peoria, Notre Dame, and I went to Peoria Richwoods, and it's Kevin Gordon, who was like our rival. I mean, literally, he lives in like the 2 neighborhoods over from me. And he looks at me and I look at him, and we remember each other from the Mickey D's All-Star game. And he walks over, and then it's like, boom, he lived next door to me in the dorm. And it's sort of, I lucked out to have a buddy or at least familiar with somebody. But you guys are doing it the right way, I think, taking trips together and stuff. And it doesn't always work out. One of you might love a spot and the other says, you know what, I'm leaning this way, and you go your separate ways. But I think it's cool when you go on trips together, and it's great to feel comfortable in that first month, which can be a little intimidating.
Yeah. And Gage Burdick is actually here with us too, left-handed pitcher. He was at ICC with me. So it's kind of funny how it all ended up. But
yeah, Gage went ICC, Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and then Corpus Christi, not Corpus Christi, and then to Lamar. So saw him on the video your dad sent from the Texas game. I think striking a kid out. That was awesome.
Yeah, he's been doing well. Yeah.
Good. Cole, I want you to jump in here. Talk a little bit about your path as a pitcher, because especially coming from a school, I mean, how many kids are at Delavan? What, 200?
Yeah, probably less than that, like 130.
Yeah, I mean, for those not aware, Delavan High School Delavan itself is not a very big town. It's a little spot. To this day, it's one of the few towns that I can't tell you how to definitively get to. That and Olympia. I can't find my way to either place. But Cole comes from not a big school, and so to be in the position that he's in, to be a draft pick and go to a traditionally powerhouse program, is crazy. And Cole is not the only one that's produced. I mean, they've had Charlie Hodges at East Carolina. What what was the biggest adjustment for you coming from uh, such a small school, Logan, and then obviously now moving on to Wichita State?
Yeah, in high school, I played over in Indiana. I think that was great for me. Kind of just showed me a bigger pond.
That was the Nitro, right?
Nitro, yeah, we
Yeah.
had some power arms come out of there, and then I had some mid majors out of high school, but it wasn't anywhere where I really liked. And the last kind of three schools, JUCOs that I came down to were Heartland, John A, and then Florida Gulf Coast, a JUCO down in Florida. And I decided on John A, and I mean, I thought I'd never look back. I've loved it here. Loved the facilities are insane. We can see the field from where we live.
Are those
Um,
still the apartments down the third baseline?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. And then from here, like Soup and the whole staff has been great to me, helping me get recruited and stuff. And we had a great year last year. Had a pretty big role for the type of team we had freshman year. And then we're looking to win it all this year, if I'm being honest, with who we got. And I think we have. I was talking with someone from SWIC a couple days ago, and I just defiantly said, I was like, we have the best JUCO staff in the nation. So I'm really excited where it's going to take us this year.
I like it. Way to put your money where your mouth is, brother.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Clayton, you want to hop in and talk about your recruiting process, how Coach Paterni snagged you?
Well, Coach Vassallo went to Monmouth, so he kind of pushed me to check out Monmouth, and I really only checked out Monmouth and IC. And after Monmouth, I knew I wanted to come here. It's about an hour away from home. Both parents can come watch games. Knew a bunch of kids here.
What was your biggest adjustment going to Monmouth? And I don't not whatever, baseball field, school size. What was it?
Um, Probably just the having so many more people on a team. Because at
Okay.
Sherrard, I mean, we didn't have that many kids, so just having. I mean, my class was 28 kids freshman year. I think we had like 50
That's
on the
it?
team when I got here. So, yeah.
Holy cow. Holy cow. All right.
Clayton, can you talk a little bit about what you've seen with, and maybe you haven't seen a lot, but as far as transfers at it, not just at Monmouth, but in, the Midwest Conference that you play in, the D3. I know Jace Wilkerson, you guys picked up out of Sandburg, who's touching 90. I think you guys lost a guy, transferred out. Are you seeing more transfers in the Midwest Conference than when you were, say, a freshman?
Yeah, I would say there's a couple more guys. I mean, they usually wait till later, but yeah, there's a couple more guys. I wouldn't say it's like more, like crazy more, but definitely more guys that do transfer.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
out
to me, go ahead, Diggs.
just out of curiosity, Clay, what year are you? Remind me.
I'm a senior.
Senior. How many kids have you seen come in as freshmen and they're like, I'm just here to, I'm going to put up a good year and then jump in the portal? Like, is that becoming a thing? Do you hear kids talking about that? Like kind of eyeing that? Like maybe, grass is greener all the time?
Yeah, some guys will talk about it, but they don't always follow through with it.
That was going to
And
be
they
my
end up-
follow-up question was
and
how
then
many of them
they end
actually
up
follow
staying.
through?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of kids that think that, but there's something to be said for having that 4-year experience, 5-year experience at the same place. Like it allows you to really make some connections and make some memories. And I'm worried that's one of the things we're going to lose. Kind of. Obviously, when you go the JUCO route, that's kind of baked in already. But I still, we're seeing kids now different school every year for 5 years. It's like, man, you're never going to go to the reunion. So, but no, I appreciate that answer. That's good stuff.
Clayton, could you talk just a little bit about Coach Paterni? I know him a little bit. What's it like playing for Coach, and what are the things you like about playing for Mr. Paterni?
Well, he's pretty old school because of Coach Sanders. So I get to hear a lot of Coach Sanders stories because my uncle went here as well.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty old school. He wants to win just as bad as we all do, and he expects a lot out of us, which I'm glad he does. And he wants our best effort all the time, hard work.
Very nice.
Yeah, I think it was a great hire by Monmouth.
I will second that. Well, Mr. Bentley, you got anything else for these fine young men?
No.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Gentlemen, we appreciate the heck out of you coming on. Wish you nothing but the best going forward. You guys all have my number. Durbin and Narelle and Lutz, you guys know you can always reach out. Jimmy, don't hesitate to reach out. Clay, same thing. If you guys ever need anything in the game of baseball, hit me up, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right. We thank you boys
Appreciate
for
you
coming
guys.
on, and we'll let you go watch the end of the Sunday night game.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Take care, boys.
Appreciate you. Take care.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Season 2,
Yeah.
cracked
Amen.
open like a fresh beer.
Nice.
Oh